So what's good, homies? It's your man, Dr. BOA. Women don't have to feign loyalty, dedication, or consistency to a man who's in love. Women also don't have to worry about being the sexual deviant of a man who's in love. That's the main reason that women hold out on sex when they're dating men. It's not because they don't want it as much as you do. It's because they understand that it is the tool that will cause the greatest emotional reckoning in any future interactions with any particular man who decides that falling in love with a woman is a positive thing to do. Why do women hold out on sex? It's the question. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. Now, somebody sent me a video on IG, man, of these two white girls with this show called Call Her Daddy or something like that. And these two chicks were talking about why they prefer for a man to fall in love before they have sex with them. And upon listening to this video, I came to the realization that most men are totally aloof to the things that women know. Like, we know this as men. We know about if a man falls in love with a woman, man, he's never going to be able to bounce back and, he's always going to love her and all of those things. But most of you men don't think women know this. But you have to keep in mind, the same way you guys are listening to me right now, there are women who are listening to me as well. All the information you men have is available to them as well. And also, you men are in relationships with women telling them everything. There are some guys who will listen to this content or listen to any other content that tells men how to navigate society and then go right back and share it with a woman, sometimes as a weapon against the woman. Let's take a listen to this video, man, and then we'll come back and chop it up on the real tip.
Men falling in love is a complete fucking different game than women fall in love.
If they fall in love, they're in love forever. Whoever a guy falls in love with, like his first love, he will never, ever, ever get over it.
Never forget. Once you have that man emotionally wrapped around your fucking finger, you own him. Keep them long enough not having sex with you. Suck the life out of their day. The day I would have sex with them is basically the day I knew that they were already basically in love with me.
You already had them. And I feel like a lot of girls think that, like, if I don't give up pussy, like, they're not gonna love me. It's the opposite. It's the opposite. If he can find an emotional connection, it's harder to find for guys than it is for girls.
They latch to it.
Yeah. They can't let it go because they've never felt that before.
If you can get them to hold out on sex and keep them in the game, I wanted them to fall in love before we had sex.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, I know some beta male simp, man, Johnny gonna come in here and say, well, Dr. BOA, you always say that the one's supposed to be a good girl. Well, now you're talking about the one's supposed to be a bad girl. And get sex away soon she get it, Dr. BOA. Doesn't they make her a good girl, man, and not give sex to the man at all, Dr. BOA, till she get married? No, that what a woman's supposed to do, Dr. BOA? So let me tell you something. You got this old crazy double standard that some women can do this and other women can do that, but the men ain't got to be held accountable for that, Dr. BOA. Let me tell you something. My mama told me, soon as my daddy left home, that I should always listen to a woman tell me what to do, because a man ain't going to do nothing but lie. And you are proof of that, Dr. BOA. Unsubscribe. Okay, unsubscribe, sucker, but before you go, let me tell you this. Whatever your mama told you just makes you the sucker that you are right now. Because the bottom line is, there are 5 things that a woman wants you to do that lead you to falling in love. And any woman who manipulates you into falling in love has a hidden agenda. See, let me tell you something. A woman wants you to believe that you're being loved and appreciated in ways so great that they make sex obsolete. Like the mere thought of sex should be obsolete to a man who's being loved in all these amazing ways and appreciated in all these amazing ways by a woman. But I say to you, if you're a man who needs those things from a woman, all of those things that you should be appreciating and feeling gratitude for and all of those things, but the woman ain't giving you no loving, then you are the man who's lost. The woman ain't lost. The woman, of course, is in the lead of the scenario, and you just playing follow the leader. See, women know once they get you to fall in love before sex, that the sex is what's going to get you hooked forever. Hooked forever. Why do you think there are men, some of you men, who were in situations where the one would treat you like a dog, but every now and then she'll give you a little bit of loving, and that'll make up for everything to you. And now the fact that she's gone, moved on with somebody else, you don't even care how bad she was treating you. You just hope she'll come back and give you some more of that loving. Why? Because that's the nail that she put into the coffin of your manhood. You men who are falling in love with women in your lives, you got to accept one thing. You're always going to be in love with that woman you fell in love with. You're never going to get over falling in love with the woman. So when I make something like this, it's really for you young men who have never fallen in love. Even you older men who have never fallen in love. I'm talking to you men. You men are the ones who are going to have to understand that falling in love with a woman is the most submissive, weak state that a man could be in. There's no state of being out of control that a man could be in quite like being in love with a woman. See, it's a false female tactic to convince you that sex isn't that important to her. She wants to get to know you in other ways. She wants you to get to know her in other ways. Let me tell you something, brothers, and this real talk, and it's going to hurt some men feeling. Good things come to those who wait is an excuse given by women to men who they really don't view as attractive enough to be intimate with. That's why many men who are married say that sex goes away. No, sex didn't go away. You wouldn't hardly get none before you got married. There are not many men on the planet who, as soon as a woman come through the door, they all over each other, and then once they get married, it's gone. Because let me tell you a secret. The woman ain't gonna marry the man that make her feel like that, because the woman knows what that type of sexual control does. So let me tell you what happens to a woman. A woman can fall in love with you after the sex. Like the sex can lure her into the whole emotional attachment thing. But with a man, it's a woman's greatest tool for you to be enough of a sucker, enough of a simp, enough of a do-boy to fall in love with some woman you ain't even been intimate with yet. Her sole purpose for being created so that we can have a partner and a helpmeet, a sexual partner and a helpmeet, a mate. And you mean to tell me that you guys sit out here and let women tell you this? You hear these women talking about it right here and they're laughing about it. You know why? Because it's funny. You guys are a joke to be out here listening to these guys telling you, man, that falling in love is a wonderful thing. No, falling in love is a serious thing. The biggest risk you could take. It's a bigger risk than taking all of your money invested in a penny stock. Because you can recover that money. You can never cover the state of emotional resistance that you had before you fell in love with a woman. Because I promise you, any man from now to 2086 will always be able to tell you that when he fell in love with a woman, he never stopped loving that woman. And here's the caveat to that. You're always going to be emotionally tied to that woman. So you're going to feel some kind of way if you see her and she has a new baby. You're going to feel some way if you hear that she's married. You see her somewhere, she's got a ring on. You see her out with her husband. You're going to always feel some kind of way. And if you messed around and had a child with that woman, bro, you totally in bad shape. Because now you got to deal with her. You got to be around her. You got to be feeling what you feel when your woman is with someone else. Because once you fall in love with a woman in your heart and mind and soul and spirit and everything, bro, she's always your woman. Now your woman moving on and you got to deal with it. Falling in love only feels good when you're still with the woman. It doesn't feel good when you're not with the woman anymore. That's why in love men are such simps. Because when you're in love, you base your life on pedestalizing the woman. Why? Because being in love feels so good when you're with the woman. I'm talking about pedestalizing her, putting on. You hear men now, man, talking about, oh, my woman is my queen and my woman is my equal and my woman is my God and I worship my woman and everything that I have, she's responsible for. All of these guys are saying this because they're in love. But I can guarantee you, if you're in love with a woman, she's not in love with you. Two people don't fall in love with each other. If the woman's in love, the man isn't. If the man is in love, the woman isn't. That's not how love works. Trust me, there are no two people who are head over heels in love with each other. It's not meant for a man to be head over heels in love. And if you're head over heels in love with a woman, let me tell you what happened. That woman drew you in, lured you in, and made you fall in love. Find me a man who's in love with a woman, and I guarantee you she made him wait for sex. Any man. If you know a man, if you are a man who's in love with a woman, I want you to come in here and be honest and tell me that you in love with that woman and the first time you met her, man, y'all just couldn't resist each other. Y'all all over each other. No, you're not. That's lust. When the level of lust is really, really high, love is not going to fall there. That's why a woman can be with a man and then go be with another man on the outside, but never leave this man for that man. An in-love woman wants to be with the man that she wants to be with, that she's in love with. The difference is a woman, when she's preparing to leave that scenario, she will wean herself off of the man emotionally. She will stay there with the man, and the man will know that the relationship is over because the entire dynamic changes. You know how many men were in relationships with women and they stayed in the house with the woman, man, for a year, 2 years, sometimes 3 years, man, and wasn't even having sex with the woman anymore because the woman was weeding herself off of you. She was weeding you out of her system, weaning herself off of you. And so when she left, she had no emotional ties left. Guess who was left carrying the emotional bag? The man who was stupid enough to fall in love. That's why in-love men, they ignore the transgressions of their women. An in-love man will take a woman back if she cheat, man. An in-love man will take a woman back if she get pregnant by somewhere else. An in-love man will stay with the woman, man, if the woman got pregnant by somebody else and put the baby on him and he find out when the baby 3 years old that it ain't here, he'll still stay with the woman. Why? Because he's an in-love man. Or shall I say it, in-love simp. You get to accepting a woman's lack of effort. You have a beautiful woman, man. The woman gained 100 pounds, man. You still sitting there making excuses to your partner. Well, man, you know, she had the baby, man. And, you know, she was tired, man. You know, she had those cravings, man. So she was eating cake and ice cream every day, man. And yeah, I know. And the cravings hard to break, man. So she still eat cake and ice cream every day, even though the baby 5, man. You know, you making up all these excuses because in your mind as an in-love man, you accept her lack of effort. Any woman who lets herself go on you, it doesn't come from her saying, I'm going to let myself go. It comes from her saying that I don't have to put forth no effort to keep myself in no type of shape and no type of physical appealing way to this man because he's in love with me. And you as an in-love man start embracing her delusion. Well, we don't need sex. Sex don't make a marriage. Sex supposed to be, we're supposed to wear off when we get to a certain point in a relationship. You think about sex too much. That's all you think about. Well, keeping the house clean is a job too. Taking care of children is a job too. I know they be going to school all day, and by the time they get home, you be getting ready to get home. So I be here by myself all day, but it's a job being here by myself, doing them, watch TV and hanging out with my girl, and probably letting the pool boy come in, or the milkman come in, or the mailman come in and play a little game with me. It's hard. And you embrace that delusion. Well, man, I gotta start spending more time with my woman, man. Can't hang with the boys no more, man. If she letting you hang with them anyway, can't hang with the boys no more, man. I gotta start spending more time with my woman, man. She bored at home. In-love men are the biggest simps on the planet because you accept the blame for your woman's wrongful decisions. And you also leave yourself on the hook to always be hooked on that woman who was undoubtedly never hooked on you. Women don't have to be loyal, dedicated, even honest or respectful to an in-love man, because an in-love man is a simp. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.